Despite my stupid attempt at an April Fool's video last week, the Nintendo Switch is actually still my favorite video game console, so I had to really stop and think, why do I like the Switch so much? And sure, it's partly because a lot of the great games that everybody knows and loves, like Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Let's Go, and Mario Odyssey, which are just a few of my favorite Switch games, but I think in part it also has to do with the fact that there are so many games that you can just go onto the eShop and find just for a few bucks, if not maybe less than 20, and have a great time. And while it is true about places like PSN and Steam, there's just something about the Nintendo Switch eShop that is very alluring when it comes to shopping for little indie trinkets, as you will, versus Steam, which is lately just a bunch of garbage and anime boobs. Think I'm kidding? Go check out Steam. Seriously, it's like a lot of anime boobs lately. And while there are tons of videos already out there about some of the best eShop games you can find, there are a couple games that I just don't really ever hear about, and in fact have actually been sent to me by some developers to check out for review. And I want to share with you 3 games on the Nintendo Switch eShop that I just don't ever hear anyone talk about. And so the first game I want to show you guys is Stellar Interface. Can you see that with the reflection? There it is. Stellar Interface combines elements of a classic side-scrolling shoot-'em-up with roguelite mechanics, giving you procedurally generated levels and all kinds of different challenges for you to face. You start off by selecting a ship, selecting some power-ups and weapons, and selecting your mission, and then you just go for it. Missions can vary from like a 30-second shootout to like a 2-minute full-on level, or even just like a random boss fight, and then you're done. As you continue on, more levels open up with branching paths, letting you choose your next destination. With the procedural generation and the branching paths you have to choose, you're really never gonna get the same experience twice. Well, sort of. Even though this is procedurally generated and you can shake things up, it does start to feel a little samey, mostly because of the level design. I mean, a lot of the levels just really look the same, but this is true also of a lot of roguelites and roguelikes. There's a difference. So if that's something you're okay with, it really shouldn't be a bother. Aside from that, the game is fun. It's got quirky little pop culture references and jokes, pretty cool and interesting weapons and power-ups. It's great to pick up and put down and play in short bursts, or for longer periods of time if you're enjoying it that much. While it's by no means stellar, it is a lot of fun, and if a roguelite shoot-'em-up with a little spaceship and pixel art sounds like something that interests you, I think this gem is worthy of your time. Now the next game on this list is Dagger Hood. Now Dagger Hood, which was provided to me by Ratalaika Games, is a fun game, I will say that, but it is a challenging game. Now I know I made that face, but truly Dagger Hood is an enjoyable experience, one that I did have fun with. That being said, boy, is it kind of frustrating for someone like myself. Dagger Hood is our little blue-haired hero here, and he is a thief who's been imprisoned for stealing the king's treasure. And he's like, you know what, king? You can suck it. I'm gonna break out of this whole Dark Knight Rises style and come to steal more of your stuff. You got it, chief? And he's going to do just that with your help by using his magical dagger. You press a button to throw the dagger and press it again to teleport where the dagger is and land on the platform that it's above. This is easier said than done. While it is a neat and useful mechanic for helping you speed through and traverse the levels, it does take some getting used to as far as your timing. The dagger only has a certain range, so you're not going to be able to travel all the way across a level, and if it hits a wall, it'll disappear before you have the chance to teleport too. Now the main goal of each level here is to get to the end, but you want to do it within a certain amount of time. Completing the level fast enough to get a 3-star rating is only the beginning. Each level has 5 treasures for you to pick up, as well as a fairy that will actually disappear after a set amount of time. And boy, there is nothing more frustrating than getting to the fairy only for it to disappear last second. Happened a lot. And if you're a truly skilled speedrunner and dagger thrower, you can get through the level collecting all the treasures and the fairy and beating the time record to get all 3 stars. But if you look here, you can see that I wasn't really able to do that a lot. This is a great game for a completionist who really wants to spend their time trying over and over again to get all the treasures and beat the time limits. Now, I wish I had some more footage to show you of later levels, but I don't because I couldn't get past the first boss. In fact, I can't beat him. I'm so frustrated and I want to throw my Switch against the wall, but it's $300, so I won't do that. I'll just calm down, maybe take some anger management classes. On the bright side, it's only $5, ladies and gentlemen. So how about you skip out on a $5 fill-up box at KFC this week and just grab this instead? If it sounds good to you, you're gonna have a great time, even if you might be tempted to break some things, like I was. Now, this third and final game that I'll be talking about today is one that I've played actually all the way through because I enjoyed it that much. I've played it before. In fact, a lot of people have seen it in my Metroidvania video last year and asked what it is. And that game is Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. What's it called? Is that what it's called? Hey, I was right. Reverie Under the Moonlight. Cool. Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight is the fourth game in the Momodora series, a series I didn't really know existed outside of this game. I thought this was, like, the only one. Turns out it's the newest one. And the series actually goes way back to 2010. Fortunately, the game does stand on its own well enough that you don't need to play any of the older games. In fact, I really don't know much about the older games, I just know that they exist. It is a Metroidvania through and through, with lots of challenge, a big map to explore and complete, abilities to unlock to help you with completing that map, and just a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. And in a lot of ways, it really reminds me of Dark Souls. Wait, come back, now hear me out. I know that people say any game with challenge is the Dark Souls of so on, but it's really not the difficulty that makes me think of Dark Souls, rather the mechanics and some of the level design. In fact, I'd say that Cursed City and Cursed Castle, which are the main areas that the majority of the game takes place in, remind me a lot of Bloodborne in design, but with a more of a cutesy pixel art kind of style. In addition, the game is not super story heavy. You play as a priestess who's going to this city to fight some kind of curse that has plagued the world, and while there's not a lot explained, you pick up a lot of hints of lore and backstory by talking to NPCs throughout the world, and you have your checkpoints where you can save and rest and refill your healing items, just like in any Souls game. And I think one of the things that really draws people to this game in particular when they see it in my old video is the art.
Your art was the prettiest art of all the art.
Thank you.
I mean, just look at it. It has beautiful pixel art, fluid animation, and wonderful design that reflects on the characters, the environments, and the enemies. Enemies range from cute to sometimes kind of terrifying, and I think it's great that it is all encapsulated in this one game. Now, the game is not very long, it's only $15, but I beat it in about 4 hours or so. Now, I didn't play it on the highest difficulty. You can to possibly increase the challenge and therefore increase your playtime, and in addition to that, there is a new game plus that I have yet to sink my teeth into. So if you're looking for an affordable Metroidvania on the Switch that isn't as well known, this game is definitely well worth your time. And again, thank you to Dangan Entertainment for sending me the review code. This game was awesome, and I am happy to give it a recommendation. And there you have it, 3 eShop games that vary from pretty cool to fantastic that I think are well worth checking out for the low price that you can get them at. I mean, no one talks about them, and I think it's just because they're buried under all that the Switch has to offer. So if you haven't heard of these, or maybe you have, but you just didn't really take a look at them, I'd say take another look and really consider picking any of them or all of them up. I think they're worth it. Just like you're worth it. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe thing, hit the bell, you know the drill. I gotta go. My voice is getting raspy.